Welcome to Pest Empire Builder podcast. On this episode, we're talking with a business owner who went from 0 to 10 trucks in only 3 years. You don't want to miss it. Well, welcome to the show. I'm so glad you tuned in today to the Pest Empire Builder podcast. Today I'm here with Scott, who is from, I believe, Pennsylvania. Is that right?
Connecticut.
Connecticut. So close. Up in Connecticut. We went from 0 to 10 trucks in 3 years. Man, tell me a little bit about yourself.
For sure. Yeah, so I'm from Connecticut, or I live out in Connecticut. And I started Ruva Pest Control with 2 friends of mine. We started 3 years ago. A little bit about me. I'm a huge fan of basketball. And me and my wife, we recently got into pickleball. And so if you've ever played pickleball, we love it. It's kind of addicting. So,
dude, pickleball is so much fun. Dude, so, yeah.
It is. There's something about it. Like, it just, yeah, anybody can play, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, anybody can play. This is the craziest thing, right? So, I was living in a country club for a little while, and in the country club is, as you can imagine, traditionally they tend to be like kind of older population, lots of retirees playing golf and doing the thing. And they bought some pickleball courts going, and then they've been promoting it through the newsletter. So I thought, I'm going to try it out, right? So I go buys me some pickleball stuff off of the internet, and I go out there to see what's going on. I've watched a couple of YouTube videos, and I get out there and I'm hands down the youngest person out there. I'm probably 45 years old. I'm 45-ish at the time, and I'm 47 now. So I was like 45. I'm out there to try this out. Nothing but 80-year-olds, 70-year-olds, there's a couple of maybe people in their 60s. And I'm fit. Like, I work out. I'm like physically active, and I'm looking around this room, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to dominate these old people. Like, this will be easy. The exact opposite. Like, those week after week after week after week, I kept going out, and they just mopped the floor with me. Grandma's out there just beating my ass into the ground. Like, it was so bad. It took me, I was like, I work out, I play basketball, like, I'm physically active. Like, I'm like, what is happening right now? Dude, grandma?
Absolutely insane. The grandma, she'll hit her drop shot into the back corner, and you're like, how do you even get there? Like, they don't even have to move. Like,
they don't move. They don't.
Move, but they just have so much control over the ball. It's like, it's insane.
I'm running around trying to chase the ball,
100%.
Yeah, I'm running, and they're not. They're just standing there, and I'm just like, what just happened?
Yeah. It's unreal. A lot of fun.
I started to get better at it, though. I've gotten better enough now that I don't get owned as much as I used to. Like, when they would when they had teams that they would like pair up and stuff, you could see the look in the person's eyes that got paired with me. They're like, oh crap, I'm stuck with Matt, stuck with a young guy.
Right? They're like, yeah, we joined a rec league, and yeah, it's crazy because we were the youngest people there, probably by far.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 27.
Okay.
And so, but yeah, you're running around, you're literally diving for the ball, trying to hit it back, and they're just smashing it into the corners. It's pretty fun.
It is a lot of fun. Yeah, I still enjoy it. I haven't played now in probably, it might be 6 months, but they just hasn't opened it, a giant indoor, a pickleball facility not too far from my house. And so I've been watching them build it out, and they put the sign up, and I was like, oh, it's indoor pickleball. And so I went and looked, and they're like, it says coming soon on the website. So I'm like, okay, like when that thing opens up, I might be in there.
Let's go.
I know. Then I can go all year long, right in the middle of the winter.
Right.
Or the summer, because I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico, so it gets pretty hot here in the summer. Yeah. And so, all right. So we have different kinds of climates, right? Like, I'm the hot desert. You're in the Northeast. So you got a little bit wetter environments. I find it interesting on running this podcast where there's different kinds of critters, that we all deal with. I imagine you don't deal with a lot of scorpions, where you're at.
Dude, not a whole lot of scorpions, none actually, but if we did, my wife would be going crazy. I don't know that we could do the scorpions. So.
Right. My buddy just built a house recently, kind of on the edge of town. And again, we're sand and cactus out here, and so, and you would think you look at like sand and cactus, there can't be that many bugs out here, but I know it's a super dry, desert, but we have scorpions, we have black widows, we got roaches, we've got a bunch of other stuff, a little bit of mice out here, not a lot of mice, whereas I bet you guys have a lot more mice.
Dude, it's insane. Yeah, a lot of the homes here, they were built in the 1800s. They're over 100 years old. They've got a lot of cracks in the bottom of them. Mice, rats, absolutely massive out here. It's not like, hey, do you have mice? It's when do you have mice? And so, which is great for us because, the winter time, it does slow down. We don't have any insects as it gets cold, but the rodents, that just... it's just going strong all winter long. So, yeah. The different type of critters you guys would be dealing with out there would be different here. So, yeah, that's like we don't have a lot of like raccoons, like a little bit here and there, but nothing too crazy. What about ticks? Do you guys have ticks out there?
Not really. We haven't had mosquitoes really much until just recently. Okay. The last few years we've had some mosquitoes in, but because it's just been a little rainier than normal.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we've gone a decade without really having mosquitoes at all because it was dry, and now it's wet again. So yeah, I don't have to deal with them again. But yeah, ticks, no ticks, mosquitoes are a little bit, a little bit spotty. Yeah, that's yeah. So what inspired you to go from like where did you come from before you started your own pest control company?
Yeah, so before we started Ruva, so we were working for a large national company, and I worked there for 5 years, and it had a good experience there, but I was always an entrepreneur, growing up. I was a kid with the lemonade stand. I was a kid. I mean, we had Pokemon cards. I was selling and buying and selling Pokemon cards as a kid on the Facebook marketplace. I mean, I would buy cell phones, laptops, and flip them. So I've always had the urge. It's like, hey, I've got to go start something. Yeah. And so spent 5 years at this large national, kind of learned the skills and got paid, while you're learning how to run it. And then eventually got to the point where we're like, hey, it's time. Let's pack our bags. Let's go move to Connecticut. And we moved out here. Didn't know anybody. We actually moved out here blind. And started Ruva, and it's been 3 years now, and we've had a lot of luck, so it's been going well.
That's awesome. Yeah. So is Ruva, is that like an acronym for your initials, or is it, what does that mean? I'm not sure if I've heard that word before.
So everybody asks, what is Ruva? And the funny story behind it. So you think of pest control, and most people, they go start a pest control company and they'll name it, green pest control, natural pest control. But when you type that into Google, there's 30, 50 of them that all show up. And we wanted to be different, where we wanted our SEO to be really good. We wanted to be able to rank high easily. And so we actually went to a random word generator. And we just said, hey, generate random 4-letter words. And we hit refresh. Did that for hours until we came up with Ruva. And we're like, Ruva, that's kind of catchy. Yeah. And so, yeah, we went with Ruva. It's not like it's a Greek name or a Latin, anything like that. It's just, it's a random word. And we figured, hey, we'll create the meaning behind Ruva. But there was no meaning to it when we started.
I love that. So it was driven by like SEO, and just like being searchable.
It was, yeah. We wanted to be different because again, we figured, hey, if you call yourself green pest control or, nature.
Well, everybody does that. Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
And so, but you type in Ruva, we're the only thing that shows up. So.
Yeah, because I got a friend of mine has something called Green Team Pest Control, and you have these different environmental whatevers, and that's interesting. So it's a 4-letter word, so it's short, it's easy to remember, and nobody else has anything like it.
Yep.
And that's actually really smart. Who came up with that idea?
Dude, I don't even know, and I don't even know if it's smart or if it's just, hey, we're not very smart, and so we figured, hey, let's have this word generator create it for us. But yeah, it's been fun.
Well, you guys have got to be reasonably smart because you're scaling quickly. And 3 years to go from 0 to 10 trucks is pretty fast. We talked to lots of pest control companies, and normally the first few years are a little bit slower moving than that. And so you moved into a city, you didn't know anybody, and tell me the journey, man. Like, you're like, okay, I'm going to get started in pest control, and I'm going to start my own company. You've been in the business, but I'm starting my own thing. Tell me the journey of, like, how did you go from 0 day one and start to push up into like hiring people and scaling?
Yeah. Oh man, that is a story to it. But the short version of it, we decided we were going to start the company. And so the first thing that we did is we listened to podcasts like this one, where we wanted to know, hey, there are other people out there who've started and grown their own pest control companies. We knew a few of them, but not a whole lot of them. And so our main thing, the first, 6 months before we put on any revenue, we're working on getting the licensing, we're getting the LLC set up, getting our first trucks, getting them wrapped, getting everything ready to go. But the biggest thing was connecting with people who'd done it before, and then just picking their brain and saying, hey man, like, you started from 0, now you're here. How did you do it? That first year, what did you do? What did you not do? What was it that helped you to, like what mistakes did you make? What should I avoid doing? And I think that helped us to really get a jump start, where, of course, we did have some painful learning experiences year one. There were mistakes that were made, but a lot of them we were able to just learn from what other people had done and dodge those mistakes. And I think that helped us accelerate, where now, we've got good momentum going. We're moving forward, and yeah, that's the 30-second version of a long path to it. So
I do think the path of accelerated growth is on something where, like you're describing, being able to surround yourself with people, like-minded individuals who are growing, doing the same thing, going the same way, and you can help each other avoid mistakes. I mean, that's what Pest Empire Builder, that's our community. That's what we do. And so it is having that community to be able to help people. Hey, watch out, there's a step here. And it's wonderful to be in a place where, like, even like today we're talking, and it's like, all right, so there was people who were a few steps in front of you that helped you miss some speed bumps, some potholes, and now you're in a place to help people who are a few steps behind you go, oh, like, watch out for this one, watch out for that one. And it's, together we elevate the industry. And as the whole industry rises, as the water rises, all the boats rise with it. And there's plenty of business out there. There's plenty of work out there. And when we come to that, we approach life from a place of abundance and prosperity, not a victim and not a poverty mindset, but abundance and prosperity. Man, I'm telling you, like, all of a sudden doors unlock, things happen, and you start helping other people. And when you start giving out that energy, you start getting that energy back. And so it's kind of cool to hear how that's like one of the catalytic things for you that really helped with explosive growth.
Oh, 100%. And that's really what I love about the pest control industry is there's not secrets. Like, there is no secret to this. Like, if you want to find something out, you go ask somebody, they'll give you, everything that they've done. They'll say, hey, this is how it happened. This is what I did. This is what you shouldn't do. And really, I had a mentor who he said, hey, I can give you all of the information that I have, but it's not going to make a difference at all unless you take that information and you go execute. Like, it's not the knowledge that matters. It's being able to execute on it. And so because of that, he was willing to share just anything with me. And I think that makes a lot of sense. It's like, hey, within the pest control industry, we can talk, we can share business strategies. We can talk about our different, lead sources, anything we're doing that way. And really, it's up to that individual to go execute. And so I think it's incredible. I haven't seen that in other places, but pest control, it's a huge thing. So
yeah, that is one thing that's beautiful about this community. other industries, people are less open to share. And I'm not sure why culturally that's different in pest control, but it's an awesome thing in the community. We also at Empire Builder, we have Empire Builder for home inspection companies. And that industry has typically been kind of a tight-lipped community. But in our Empire Builder network, we are wide open and we share all the numbers, we share all the things. And it's just cool to be part of a group of people that do that for each other. You mentioned a minute ago about how you missed a lot of potholes because other people helped you. But you said you also hit a few yourself. And so I want to ask you about that. What's maybe one pothole you hit that you could help somebody else avoid?
Oh, dude. And I'll be real with you. There was a lot of potholes. I mean, we're over there changing the tire because, we hit pothole after pothole. But I'd say one of the biggest ones that we did wrong year one and we have now fixed, it was our compensation structure, where we had guys who were compensated in a way where it wasn't their pay was not aligned with the company values. And so what would happen is they could do things that went against company values. They could skip services. They could go home early, and they still got paid the same. That was a big mistake. And when we changed that, we changed the pay structure. We actually started paying guys a lot more, like crazy high numbers, if they were performing well. Mm-hmm. And what happened is we started repelling, the C and the D players, but the A players, I mean, they're just, it's magnetic. They gravitate towards it. And so now I look at our company and we've got 10 trucks on the road, and it's like each of those guys in those trucks, they're studs. It's like I trust that they're getting paid to do, they only get paid well if they do the job well. And so just aligning that together, it's made a huge impact on our culture. And really, I mean, that'd be one of the biggest things I would change about year one versus now, is just if we would have made that shift earlier, it would be so much farther down the road.
That's awesome. Yeah, I get what you're saying there, because you end up with, your pay structure matters. I have in this show and the other show that I run, talking to other business owners, there's times where they overcompensate on the front side. They've overpaid their people, and they didn't leave enough margin in the business to be able to hire non-revenue generating employees. And so you have a guy in the truck doing the thing, he's generating revenue while he's out there. But if you don't have enough margin in the business, pretty soon you're going to need a manager, someone to oversee. And that person needs to be compensated, and they're not out there generating revenue. So you have to have enough margin for your management, your operations teams, your people answering the phones, salespeople, stuff like that. And so if you don't have your compensation right, you talked about not attracting the A game players or not keeping them because of your pay structure. If you have it wrong in a different way, you could grow yourself into bankruptcy because you don't have enough margin for your growth strategy.
That's a great point. And I look at it as well. We intentionally are pricing for our customers. Mm-hmm. We price on the higher end of the market. And I see, it's tempting where you're like, man, I just want to get another sell. I want to get another sell. Let me just drop the price. That is a race to the bottom, and you cannot do that. And I see even some of the larger companies, they will do that. They'll do it for dirt cheap. They'll pay their guys dirt cheap, and they've just got constant turnover. And it's like, no, if you can build in the margin to your pricing, we can pay our guys well and mm-hmm. still leave the room for the, being able to pay management, paying office staff. And that is a huge thing that we learned, is you have to price it. You're not pricing it for a one-man show. You're pricing it for a business, and you have to have margin to be able to scale. Absolutely.
And like you said, race to the bottom. But, when you do the race to the bottom pricing and you're trying to compete on price, you're going to lose on price. So it means if someone shows up $5 cheaper per month, you'll lose to them, right? But if you're not competing on price, you're competing on quality, you're competing on other things, you end up getting a way better customer too. Your customer then all of a sudden, they're like, I don't really care about the price because the guys that show up, they show up in clean trucks. They're people that are friendly, that I feel safe to be in my home. And I feel like these guys provide a premium service. When you're selling on those things, price isn't the big factor. And when you're selling on those things and you have a higher ticket price, you can pay your guys more, like you're talking about, and putting them on a performance pay that attracts the A players. Your A players are going to create the environment where customers are going to feel more safe. They're going to feel more secure, and they're going to trust you more. And so you end up creating a flywheel that spins in the right direction. Whereas if you're competing on price, you end up with a gravity, like a flywheel going the wrong direction. You're the upward spiral versus the downward spiral.
Right. And if somebody wants to leave because they can get it for $5 a month cheaper, it's like, you can leave. Like, that is the wrong. I mean, obviously we're going to do everything we can to save them, but it's like, that's not the customer we want to attract, because that's not the customer we're going to be able to build a relationship with and build value with over time.
Yeah. So you left one company that you were working for and started your own company. Did you have any surprises along the way transitioning into business ownership that you were like, oh, I'd never really thought about this before until I had to?
Oh, dude. Yeah. I think one of the biggest surprises is, I think you get on Instagram and you get on YouTube and you watch all these things about entrepreneurship, and it paints it in a very rosy picture. It says, hey, you're going to create, time and financial freedom, which you can, and it is the path to do it. But along the way, I think I went into it saying, I'll never have a boss again. I'm working for myself. And that couldn't be farther from the truth as an entrepreneur.
Right.
It's like, you go start a company, you put on your first 100 customers, your first 1,000 customers, your first few thousand customers. Now it's like, you don't have one boss, you've got thousands. And that is something that was surprising. And in the first few years, I don't feel like I did a very good job of setting good boundaries, where I allowed, if a customer was upset and it's 9:00 at night, well, I'm getting on the phone and I'm calling the customer and figuring it out. Or if it's the weekend and, something's going on. And this is the absolute opposite of what, you think of entrepreneurship. You think, okay, well, I'm going to build this and, it's going to run on its own. But yeah, the first few years, it was not. It was just, I've got a ton of bosses. And so now we're working on fixing that. And, I'm working on setting better boundaries to make sure that, the business doesn't run my life, rather I'm running it.
Yeah. That is such a hard transition. So many business owners struggle with that, and like working in the business versus on the business, or being a business owner versus a business doer, however you want to phrase it, right? Like all those things. But you're right. Like the business can run your life. And so many business owners, they learn that lesson along the way, like real quick. And then they realize, how do I get out of this? And the struggle is real. Like even now, my business most of the time runs on its own. It doesn't take a lot of work from me, but still there are times where things pop up and I'm like, oh, it's running my life now. And there are the 9:00 phone calls, and there are I'm on vacation with my family, and I still have to answer this phone call. Like I still have to do these things in order to run the business. It's always there. It doesn't go away. You don't clock out. And yeah. And to your comment about the Instagram guys, they're always like they've got their pants rolled up a little bit, so their shoes and ankles are showing. They're leaning against a Ferrari on their cell phone with like a sweater draped over their shoulders. Like whatever. Or they're like walking up the stairs into a private jet. And all that. They're sitting down doing those things. And that's not the life. Like the guys that are sitting there leaning on the rented Ferrari with a photo shoot, like no, you guys are a bunch of posers. They're all posers. I can tell you in my city right now, I can rent a private jet for a photo shoot and just walk out to it and have a photo shoot of me in the jet, walking up the stairs, acting like I'm flying private. And I can have that experience for like less than $1,000, you know, for less, you know, I mean, how much time do you need for that flashy photo shoot? You know, you're out there for less than an hour, you know, and for less than $1,000, I can walk out there and have a whole photo shoot with me in a private jet and post that all over my Instagram and be like, oh, Matt flies private, you know, Matt has a jet. And I was like, nope, I had a photo shoot with a jet. That's what I had, you know, you can be successful like me.
Oh, it's all fake. And
it's all image, man. These people. Yeah. And when you really get into it, that's not at all what it looks like in the real life running a business.
Yeah. It's definitely not in the beginning. And it's like,
so you've been in it for 3 years, right? The business I'm running has been there for 6 years. I looked like you in the beginning, you know, like all my hair is gone now, you know, because business ownership's a little bit stressful.
Give me a few years and it might be gone.
Yeah. Right. I don't see any signs of it receding right now, but you never know.
Maybe we'll have to check back in a year or two and just.
That's right. Let me back on the show and we're going to measure it. We're going to measure and see, has there been any movement in the hairline? Right. Right now you have a nice full head of hair.
Right now I do, but actually my wife gives me crap about it. I've started getting some of the gray hairs. And so, yeah,
she gives you crap about it?
She does.
Oh man, I got a little bit of gray hair in my beard over here, you know, but I don't know. I just embrace it.
It's funny. Yeah, I'm like,
or we can go fly to Turkey and we can get a hair transplant. And
that's true. I hear a lot of people are doing that now. So
I know, I see that. That's what's in my feed, advertising hair transplant.
Okay.
I don't know how they know. I guess they know I'm a bald guy because of my Instagram photos, but like, oh, that guy's bald. Hair transplant. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
So you're married. You got this business going. Does your wife have any role in it, or does she do other things?
Great question. So she doesn't have a role inside the business, but if I were to say the one reason why this business has been possible, it's been because of her. Like, it has been absolutely insane. And, you know, people say it's like, hey, the most important decision you make is who you're going to marry in life. Yeah. I agree with that 100% because I see people who, you know, they've gotten married and maybe one's an entrepreneur and the other is not. And then there's the fights that happen. Mm-hmm. She's just been all in. She's like, hey, I'm game. Like, let's move away from all of our friends and family across the country. Let's go send this. Wow. And so she works remotely. She works full time, and that helps as well because even as you're starting the business, there isn't a whole lot of cash flow in the beginning. You want to roll, you know, everything back in, keep growing it. And, you know, because of her, we've been able to do that. And so, yeah, that's an accelerator that people don't talk about sometimes, is being able to roll all of your profits right back in. I was in a place when I started, I have a home inspection company, but when I was starting that home inspection company for the first year, I was in a position where I didn't have to take any of the profits. Okay. I was able to just reinvest every single profit of dollar right back into the business. And it allowed me to hit explosive growth in the first year before I started taking anything. And then I even at that point, I took very little. Whatever the lowest amount I could possibly take out is what I took out for the first few years. Dude, and it compounds. It's like, if let's say you're doing 500K and you've got a 10% margin, it's like, hey, if you need to live on that 50K, you're not going to have anything to roll back into the business and continue to grow. And if you want to scale to 3 million, 5 million, it's like, where's that going to come from? And so being able to just roll it back in, let it compound over time, it's like that. It strangles the business in the beginning if you're not able to just roll it back in and continue to grow. Yeah. So having a spouse on board that maybe has a full-time job, something you guys can afford to live on, you know, that covers your basic bills so that you can not have to take as little out of the business on the front end as possible. Be able to it's compounding. It's like compounding interest, but way more productive. Like you get way more multiples off of that reinvesting in your own business.
because you're betting on you and you're building you, and it's rather than betting on the market or betting on a real estate venture or something else.
Oh, dude. And it's something you can control as well. It's like, I go put 50K into Bitcoin. I don't know if Bitcoin's going up to 100,000 or if it's dropping to 20,000. Whereas I go put it into Ruva and I know, hey, we're going to execute on this. We're going to spend this and track every single dollar, and we're going to know exactly the return we're going to get out of it. And it's like, I will take that 10 times out of 10 over something. I mean, Bitcoin, real estate, those are still good investments. But for me, it's like, no, I want to be able to control the investment and be able to generate value instead of having to have all these outside factors that you're just guessing. Right.
Yeah. And so it's a great place to invest. I was sitting down with my financial planner just recently, and I've got some money in the stock market, and stuff like that. I try to spread around. I got like life insurance investment products, and, I got some real estate investment stuff that I've been doing now. But the lion's share of my investment is back into business, whichever business I'm investing in. And he was telling me, he's like, well, I got this opportunity that you could, take this money and you could park it here and you could get this 8.5% return, and so I was like, 8.5% annually. And he's just like, yeah, no, this could be really good because, and he's going through on it. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'll be real honest. My business just went through the numbers yesterday. This year, we're averaging 27% profit, right? Wow. On my company, which is pretty solid, right? Well, why would I park money and go make 8% there when I could park money here and try to, now I know it's more active of investment, but if I'm really swinging for the fences and if I have a vision for my business and I see, there's this next opportunity to invest into to push the business to the next level. And am I going to put that hypothetically $100,000 into this market investment? No, I'm gonna take that $100,000 and I'm going to push my business to this next level and opportunity, because if I'm averaging 27%, I'm not going to get that anywhere else in the world other than what I can control and what I can do. And so, your ability to go, okay, I'm going to live on as little as possible and to put as much of the margin in the company right back into growth. It's the best investment you can make as a business owner because you control it, like you say, and it's your vision that you're casting and you're excited about it. And I'm telling you, like, I think investing in your own business and your own self is definitely worth it.
I love it.
Yeah. Although I do have some Bitcoin, not going to lie. So,
yeah, Bitcoin, it's done well the last 5 years.
Yeah, it is. I bought in back in 2016.
Okay.
So it was actually 14, 15, 16, somewhere in there. I bought in and it was less than $2,000 a coin back then. Wow. Yeah, so I put some money into that thing. I have taken some gains as it's gone up, but a little bit, not much. I took a little bit out here and there and here and there. And then there was a point where I was like, I'm going to stop taking, because I'm just going to let this thing sit. I want to park it and just see what happens. And now it's like, man, I wish I hadn't taken any gains out of it, but whatever. Yeah, I made money. And so anyhow, I still have a now it would be a significant amount of money it's grown to because it's gone up. But yeah.
I like it. And there are the Bitcoins in the world, but I look at, I know some guys who invested big into like Nikola or some of these stocks who've now fallen, 90% Lucid. And it's like, I am a big fan of investing in the stock market, but it's like, I would rather put the bulk of the money into my business. It's something I can control and something I can measure. And I know, hey, if I go spend 50K on LSA, I'm going to make this return off of it. And it's
that's the part of it too, is, like, because you've been tracking your numbers, and like, I track my numbers, I know my numbers. So it's like, I know where my numbers are. I know if I spend here, I've been getting this kind of return whenever I spend here. And so I'm going to spend a little bit more. I still got that percentage. I'm going to spend a little more. I'm still getting that percentage. Guess what? I'm going to start putting more and more and more into that thing as I can, because I'm getting this return on the ROI on that thing is way bigger. And on top of that, the value of the business is going up. So yeah, you're getting cash on your cash, but then you're also the overall net, worth of the company is going up.
100%. You get paid both ways. And it's like, I don't think everybody calculates that. 'Cause I mean, you can look and say, oh, I'm going to spend 50K in LSA. And it's like, well, maybe I'll make 150K in recurring revenue off of that. But then you look at, okay, well, what is that 150K worth and the total lifetime value of the customer? You know, how many years can I keep that customer, and what kind of profit margin can I expect to get that? And so, yeah, I think if more business owners ran the numbers and looked and saw exactly the type of return they were getting, they'd be looking for every dollar that they could put into some of these categories. Because it's like, dude, it's where else? I mean, besides Bitcoin, it's like, where else are you going to get these kinds of returns? Like,
you're really not. Like, you know, you can buy stock, but like you say, you can buy stocks, but you're investing in somebody else's business that you have no control over. Mm-hmm. And if you're investing, stocks are investing in somebody else's business.
Yep.
Yeah. And, you know, that can be a really good thing. You know, I have stocks. I've got money in the market, you know, but you know, I'm going to spread it out a little bit, but I put more into my own company than anything else, you know. Before you had your own company, did you manage employees?
So, yeah, before I started Ruva, I was a manager at my previous company. I had experience with that. But I think it's different, you know, if you're a manager for a company versus if you own the company and you're a manager. Those are two very different things. You know, guys look at you differently, where it's like, and you look at it differently as well, where you're like, man, I have to go make this hard conversation, but it's not just me as a manager. I'm the owner of the company as well. And it can be hard because you're like, man, I want this person to succeed. I want them to change. I want them to do these things that we need them to be doing. And, you know, there's a little bit of a difference, you know, as you're the owner and they're like looking at you and saying, hey, this isn't just the manager. Like, this guy, he's just, you know, it's different.
It is different.
But yeah.
Once you sit in the chair of ownership, you realize kind of like how heavy the crown is, you know.
Yep. Like,
it's like, oh, there's extra weight when you're actually there that you don't really realize is there until, like, when you're management, when you're leadership, even if you're senior leadership in a different company, you know, I guess the buck doesn't stop with you. You can pass it, but when you own it, like when you own the business, the buck stops with you. Like, there is no upper management. There is no, I'm sorry, corporate's decided. It's like, I decided that you're not going to work here anymore. Not, my hands are tied, buddy. Sorry. Upper management made a decision. You got to go. You know, there's like a different weight to that, for sure. And I think as a business owner too, like, I take some level of responsibility of like, well, okay, this guy's working for me. He's got kids and they got to eat. He's got maybe a wife or a girlfriend or whatever. And like, well, there's a whole family that's attached. It's not just that one guy. And so as the owner, it's like, boy, there's a little bit of responsibility that comes on that of like, I need to make sure I'm making good decisions and I'm running this company in a healthy way so that not just so that I can eat and provide for mine, but so that this guy can eat to provide for theirs. And the more employees that you have, you know, we have a company Christmas party where we bring your whole family. We do a whole food thing. It's a lot of fun. And so when that happens every year, I look around the room and I'm like, wow, all of these people, you look at them, you're like, dang, they're all depending. Like, the fact that these people have hitched their wagon to my horse and like, this is Matt's business and they've attached. And right. And then it's like, there's that weight that you have as the owner though, of like, dang, all these people are depending on me to make good decisions.
Yeah. No, it's not something I think you really think about, like, especially even before we started Ruva and then when we came over here, it's like, again, I think we're a little bit naive about everything that was involved, which I think ended up helping us, because if we knew everything that'd be involved, I don't know that we had made the jump to actually do it. I mean, now looking at it, it's like, okay, we made it through, like, this is good, but there's a lot of hard moments. And I think that, yeah, it does change it. But then to your point, though, when you do the Christmas parties and when you do the company events and you see, you know, their families, their wife, their kids, they're all there. And it is motivating. It's like, you know, hey, there is a weight to it, but also it's like, look at this. Like, there is an entire room full of families where you're the one signing the paycheck. Like, you're the one, if you didn't, you know, create this business, chances are, you know, they might not have a job. They might not have a job where they feel happy, where they feel fulfilled, where they feel like they're able to make an impact and a difference. It's like, there's a lot of responsibility to it, but that's one of my favorite parts about entrepreneurship, is just being able to see like, hey, we are making an impact on this many lives, and it is making, like, you don't always see the difference, but then when you see the families there, you're like, okay, this is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. I do like that. There's a little bit of pride in that too. Like, wow, like what I'm doing is making a difference in all these families' lives. And I have a kind of a speech I do at every one of them. And I tend to, one of the things I'll do in there, say, hey, listen, you know, what we spend the most of our time doing is sleeping. You know, 7 days a week, we sleep roughly 8 hours a night, or we should be. You know, you spend most of your, like that you do a lot of that. One of the second thing is you spend a lot of time at work, you know, and if the person is not happy in their job, they will often hold it together at work and be diplomatic. But when they go home, they're going to walk in the front door of their house and like, you won't believe what so-and-so did in the office today. And, you know, and so they would, you know, so if your spouse isn't happy at work, unfortunately, they're probably going to dump on you more than anyone else, because you're the number one support system. And so I know that if we create a great work environment, I'm actually hopefully creating an environment where your family is happier at home, so that when your partner who works here goes home at the end of the day, they're not complaining about it. They're refreshed. They're in a place where they can be a better, you know, husband or wife or mother, father. And so my goal, I tell them all the time, my goal personally is that, you know, and I said, I'm not talking to people that work here. I'm talking to all the partners and spouses, boyfriends, girlfriends, kids. My number one goal is that you are happy that your significant other works here at this company. And if you know, it's because I want you to be happy. So my goal is to make sure that they're coming home and they're like, I had a great day at work. And I know there's bumps that we can't control, but if, you know, that's my personal goal. And so if your husband or wife is having a hard time, if something's not going right, y'all have my cell phone number. I said, please tell me, like, I want to fix it. That is my goal. And if something's going on that I'm not aware of, please let me know. That is my goal. So I give you all permission to sidestep your husband or wife and just call me directly if you need to, you know, and everybody laughs. And then, I do it through all my speech and stuff. And I do all the different, and, you know, state of the affairs, you know, and then when I'm working the room, I actually go find the partners and like, is he happy at work? Yeah, good. I'm really glad. If he's ever not happy, please let me know, you know, and it's just a cultural thing I try to do every single year, to try to, like, I want them to know that I care about you more than what you do. I care about you and your family more than what you do. And I think when you create that environment, people want to come to work and they like doing it.
100%, you know, happy wife, happy life. And I'm actually going to copy that from you. That is a great thing to do at the Christmas events, and then just, making sure that the spouse knows that, hey, one of our main goals here is we want your spouse to be happy, like, or we want them to be fulfilled, and we don't want, you know, their job should not be a detriment to their life. It should add to their life. It should help them.
Yep.
So,
100%. So happy spouse, happy house is what I always say.
I like it. There we go.
Yeah, because if only the wife is happy and the husband's not happy, yes, happy wife, happy life. But, you know, I don't know. I like happy spouse, happy house because both sides are making each other happy or caring.
Better.
Yeah. Because if only one side's getting cared for, it's not good. So, so happy spouse, happy house, man. Yeah. And so I try to create that culture in our business and even extend it into their families of like, you know, take care of this. And so, so anyhow, man, I love leading a business. I love leading people. I get so inspired by that and all those types of topics, and, you know, building teams up is always exciting for me. when I first started getting into business 20 years ago, different businesses, that was the part that like was a burden, and I was intimidated and I didn't like it. But once I kind of figured out how to ride that the right way, man, I really love it and find a lot of joy and purpose out of that. So yeah, man.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
So what's next for you guys, right? So you talk about where we've been. What's the next chapter? What are you guys looking at? What's your next goal? What do you got your guys? What's your vision set on next?
Yes, sir. So it's actually changed since we've started. We started the company.
As it should. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we started and we said, hey, we're going to go build this. And within 5 years, we wanted to build a $5 million branch. And, we're at 3 years, we're doing $3 million in recurring. And
wow.
So we're on pace. But we're saying, hey, this is, and the first year, the first 18 months, it was absolutely brutal. It's just every single day, you're working 60 hours a week. I'm in a truck every day. It's sun up, you get home after it gets dark, and then you're on your computer. You're trying to figure out, okay, what happened in the office today? How do I fix this? And that is not a place I want to be at again. And so we were like, hey, let's just grow this to 5 million and then let's cut off the growth. Like that's it. But now we've started to get systems in place. We've hired some amazing people. We've got an amazing leadership group where it's like, actually, this is kind of fun now. Like I don't think it was very fun in the beginning, but now we're having a fun time. We've got momentum behind us. And so we're saying, hey, let's actually go open up a couple more locations. Let's move 60, 90 minutes down the road. And let's go use everything we've learned here in Hartford. And let's go open up another one and another one. And the idea behind it is just, hey, if we can do it effectively and, continue to grow, implement the things we're learning in the first branch, and then just spread that across a wider service area, it opens up a lot of opportunities for us as owners. It also opens up opportunities for our team where it's like, hey, now we don't need one branch manager, we need 3. And we don't need one service manager, we need 5. And we don't need one team lead, we need 10, 15 team leads. And seeing that and seeing guys where we bring guys in who've never done pest control before, and then they get their license, they learn how to do it, they get their supervisor license, they move through the ranks. Watching that, and even there's that aspect of it, but then there's guys who come in and we run a whole leadership development program with them, and we say, hey, if you're looking to grow and turn this into a career, let's get you reading the right books. Let's get your head straight where it's like you're thinking the right things, you're approaching problems in the right way. And that's what's exciting for us. And so we've shifted our goal where our 5-year goal from now is we want to be doing 20 million in recurring revenue, and we want to be making a healthy profit margin on that. And we feel like we have the pieces in place to make that happen. We just need to go execute on it. And now it's fun. It's not, how do I get more hours in the day to go service more accounts personally? It's how do I go find these key individuals who will create a great culture and lead a team, and they'll be able to help us to grow, and we will pay them very well as they do that. And it's like, that's what's exciting for us. And so that's where we're headed. It is an ambitious goal for us, but we're like, hey, let's get out there. And I think there's a saying where you underestimate what you can do in a year, or you overestimate what you can do in a year, but you underestimate what you can do in a decade. And so we're like, hey, let's go set some high goals and let's just get out there and see what we can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think it's so true that the 1 year versus like your 10-year, what you estimate, it's true because there's the compounding effect when over 10 years. And so you don't have to go from 0 to 3 million in over and over and over again, because going from 0 to 1 million is hard. Mm-hmm. Like that's really hard. 1 to 2 is a little bit easier. 2 to 3 gets a little bit easier. 3 to 4, and all of a sudden it gets easier and easier and easier to be able to break through those barriers. And there are barriers along the way where it's like, oh, that's a barrier and we got to work. But breaking those, I don't know, man. I think breaking different thresholds, they're different problems. I find it to be easier the bigger it gets to a certain point. Yeah. And part of it is because you have a team of people helping you break through that barrier, whereas in the beginning it's just you.
That's true. That's a great point. And I feel like doing it with other people, it's like that is definitely the way to do it. You know, some people just try and do it alone. They're like, hey, I'm going to put the whole team on my back and I'm just going to run up this hill. And it's like, that is the absolute wrong way to do it if you want to build something that's going to scale. It's like, no, you've got to find these key players, partner with them, figure out ways where it's a win-win scenario. And if you can find the who, then the how is going to take care of itself. So,
yeah, absolutely. That's so true, man. This has been a great conversation. I've loved getting to know your story, hearing everything. I'm sure people are like maybe getting stuck at different barriers. They have questions. I'm going to get a hold of you. I'm going to ask you, how'd you do this? How'd you do that? What's the best way for someone to get a hold of you?
Totally. So you can find me on social media. Facebook and Instagram, it's just Scott Sandberg. But then if you would like to reach out to me, my email address is scott@ruvapest.com, if that's easier. So
that sounds great, man. I'll put all the contact info in the show notes so that people can find it real quickly and connect through, man. It's been great having you on the show. It's been great to get to know you and your story, man. So good luck, and I can't wait to see how big your business gets.
Thanks, man. It's been great. So
all right, man. I'll see you later. All right.